It's good to have everyone here. Appreciate your presence. We thank God that you made it. You know what? Let's put this over here. Thank God that you're here today. And as I said, we're here to meet with God, and He's here with us. I know you can always meet with Him at home. He's always present to meet with you wherever. But there is something to be said about corporate worship. When we all come together, you want to get a hold of that. When we all come together to worship Him, there's something powerful about that. And by the way, you know I'm wearing this not to reach you guys, but for the recording on that camera, so you know. Okay. Again, we're continuing in our study here, looking into the journey, the fact that God does send each of us on a journey, and He sent each of us on a journey. For some of us, all of us, there's a journey that started from the day we were born, and we continued on that journey until the day the Lord says, time's up. But the journey that we're talking about really is the journey that started on the day you were born again. Right? The day you came to Jesus Christ, He came into your life and He changed you, and He says, okay, son, my daughter, you've been doing things a certain way all this time from the day you were born. You've been going a certain direction all this time, but I want to work with you. Work and walk with you. Okay? So I'm going to send you on a journey. And there's a different way to do things in my kingdom. You don't just do it the way you've been doing it for a long time. We're going to do it slightly differently. That's what this is about. And the main character that we've been studying is Abraham. We've studied him, how the Lord called him and promised him blessings. And all the great things we're going to do for him. He will make him a great nation, give him a lot of children, give him the land of the Canaanites and everything. And after that, he had difficulty having one child. Eventually, God gave him a child, Isaac, and God transferred the blessing to Isaac and said, look, I'm going to give you all the blessings, all the promises that I made to your father Abraham. They are being transferred to you. I'm going to bless you and make you a great nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed through you. Okay, Isaac had a little bit of a problem too. Wife couldn't have a baby, and eventually they had Esau and Jacob. And we know things happened. Jacob did what he did. Esau did what he did. Isaac and Rebekah did what they did, all contributing to this problem. And eventually, Jacob got what wasn't meant for him. Naturally speaking, he got the birthright. Esau's birthright, he got that, and also got the blessing that Isaac had meant for Esau. He's in trouble now. When you look at the life of Jacob, there may be something we really want. We just want it so desperately. We want to get that. But the problem is that when we do finally get it by hook or crook, whichever way it is, it's like, now we're in trouble. Now I can't enjoy what I got by playing tricks. I can't enjoy it anymore. Because that's not the way God intended it. Yes, sometimes, so we all need to be careful what we are hankering after, what we really want to get so desperately, because you know what? When you get it in an ungodly way, you might go into hiding. Because you try to help God to give you what He wanted to give you anyway. That's what happened to Jacob. Okay? And he didn't do it alone. He was involved in it. Hey, you want some stew? Okay, send me your birthright. And Esau said, what is a birthright? Just give me some stew. I'm hungry. Right? And then later on, he played a trick on his dad. His mom helped him out. You know what? I just heard your dad say to your older brother, go make me some real good food so I can eat and bless you. Hey, while your brother is out, let's play a trick on your dad. He's older and he can't see very well. They made this nice meal for him and dressed Jacob up, and he goes over there, and Isaac recognized that the voice is Jacob's, but the smell and the skin is that of Esau. They played him a trick. But now, Jacob is in trouble. What is he going to do? Esau will kill him. Right? So we've looked at all of that. And now he has to escape. He has to escape. And the plan is, okay, let's deceive him some more. Let's say, hey, we don't want him to stick around here and marry some of the girls, marry the girls in this area. We'll send him back to where we came from so he can marry a girl from our family. That's what they planned. And now Jacob is beginning, his own journey. As I said during our Bible study this week, Isaac was the least adventurous of them all, right? Jacob and Abraham, man, they got a lot of experiences. But sometimes, as I said at the beginning of a series here, we go on a journey not because we want to go on the journey, but because this journey is imposed on us. We have to. We have to go on this journey. And this kind of journey that is imposed on you, you've got to go through it, is often, it's designed for you to have a chance to take a good look at yourself. Okay? When you go on this journey that's forced upon you, so to say, it means for you to take a good look at yourself and see, look at yourself in the mirror. And maybe this will help you to begin the process of change, because each of us, we all have something that's not so good, and we would like to fix that. Even though on the outside we want to, everything is all cool, right? But there's something in us that I really would like to change this. Sometimes we don't face the process of change willingly. We've got to, it has to be imposed on us. God calls us, each of us, He called us as imperfect people. We are too rough around the edges, right? Look at it, we are rough around the edges, right? And God says, no, I called you. I want to use you, but I can't use you the way you are right now. I've got to change some things up. He can't use us the way we are. So his first project in our lives is often just to clean us up, prune us and smooth out the rough edges around us so we can now become useful in his hands, so we can actually represent him. He wants us to begin to see reality, not continue to see reality in our old way, but to see reality from a different perspective, from his own perspective. That is the only way he can use us. Because you know what? Seriously, there is nothing that God could have done with me if he had left me the way I was before July 31, 1983. There is nothing. Because I had my mind made up about this is the way that life is. This is the way to do things. But God says, no, I'm going to take you through a journey one day at a time. You're going to learn. You're going to learn in the process. You're going to confront yourself. You're going to see yourself for who you are today. And I'm going to show you who you are supposed to be in my kingdom. And God wants us to move from this our self-centered perspective and begin to have a God-centered worldview. That's what he wants. Yes, God called Jacob. And his father Isaac confirmed this by blessing him, by praying for him. Even though a trick was played on him, his father Isaac prayed for him and sent him on his way to Padan Aram so that he would get a wife over there. That's what he believed, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but that's a trick that Rebekah and Jacob are playing on him. So he sends him on his way as the heir of Abraham's promises. That's what Jacob is going to, he's the heir now. He's gone from Abraham to Isaac, and now Jacob, you're the man. Even though it seemed like his dad was making a mistake and everything, he's still the chosen person. So far, though, we know that Jacob is a master strategist. He's so self-focused. His strategies are so founded on the idea of the end justifies the means. His strategies are based on deception and success at the expense of other people. That has been Jacob's MO. People for him are to be used, not to be respected, not to be valued at all. That's his MO. That's the way he's been operating so far. So for them, this journey is just, even though they deceived their dad, but this journey is actually to keep him safe. Jacob, I want you to go over there and be safe from your brother. Getting him married to one of my people there is just a secondary thing, but the real reason that I'm sending you over there, Rebecca, maybe thinking is, I want you to be safe from your brother because you just defrauded him and he might kill you. That's the intention. But this journey is going to accomplish more than that. This journey will accomplish much more because this journey will bring Jacob face to face with himself. It will force him to confront himself the way he has never done before. Jacob is going to experience in the hands of someone else everything that he has done to his brother. Jacob is going to come to a point where he learns that, defrauding people, deception, and all is abhorrent to God. God doesn't like it. And he's going to know that even human beings don't like to be deceived. Human beings don't like to be cheated. They don't like to be exploited. He's going to learn that. So far, he's been at the profitable end of that. But he's going to get to the point where he's at the losing end and he's going to realize, oops, this is not good. Jacob will come to his wit's end and he will learn to depend on God because everything that has worked for him so far is not going to work. He's going to try. He might still come out of this place still acting like Jacob. But the lessons that he will learn are going to stick around until he has the real encounter with God. There are just some lessons we cannot learn while we are so sheltered. When we are sheltered, everything is handed to us, so to say. There's just some lessons we're never going to learn. We all need, as long as we're sheltered, we're going to be thinking, oh yeah, the world is flat. And by the way, everything revolves around me, so it's good. But at a point in life, God lets us get to this place outside of our comfort zone, outside of everything that we've known, we've been able to manipulate and all that. God lets us get there, and we realize, oops, the world is actually round. And what goes around does come around. Sooner or later, each of us will learn that. But at this time, Jacob hasn't learned it. I'll show you. Because, he's been a strategist, he's been an expert in maneuvering and manipulating stuff. So somehow, he might think that this is going to work all the time, right? But let's get this. Even though Jacob is escaping this place as a fugitive, going to live in Haran for the next 20 years of his life, because he did what he wasn't supposed to do, just remember, though, that he's been blessed, he's been called by God, and the grace of God is upon him, and the protection of God is guaranteed for him, and the promises of Abraham have been transferred to him. Does that mean he is good now? No, he's by no means. You're going to see here. I'm going to read this passage that we read last week. This is where we ended last week. In chapter 28 of Genesis, verse 10, we are told that Jacob left Beersheba and went toward Haran, and he came to a certain place and stayed there that night because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of that place, he put it under his head and lay down in that place to sleep. I want to relax. It's been a hectic day. It's been a long day. Man, Esau, he's going to rest. But little did he know, that he's going to begin to get a little bit of a glimpse of God in this place. And he dreamed, and behold, isn't that interesting? You just lie down to get a good sleep, and that's when God chooses to talk to you. That's when he chooses to say, I know you want to rest right now. You've been working hard, but, this is when I can get your attention. You're tired, you're not running anywhere. Yes, I can get your attention right here. And he dreamt. And behold, there was a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to the heaven. And behold, the angels of the Lord, the God of Abraham, and behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. Have we heard about anything like this ever? Have we seen anything like this before? Nathanael didn't want to come. His brother called him, hey, we've seen the Messiah. There's a prophet from Nazareth. He says, are you kidding me? Is anything good going to come out of Nazareth? Eventually he came. And Jesus told him and said, hey, before you came here, while you were still hiding under the tree over there, I saw you, I knew you. And then he says, oh, wow, you are really a prophet. And Jesus said to him, you haven't seen anything yet. What if you see the heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man? What if you see that? Then what are you going to say? What if heaven opens and you see the Son of Man like a ladder between heaven and earth, and the angels are going up and down on the Son of Man? So do you notice here that Jesus Christ in the New Testament is saying, I am the ladder that Jacob saw. I am the ladder that goes from earth to heaven, and that's connecting earth with God. So here Jacob is getting a glimpse of Jesus Christ, the God-man, who came to connect the world to God. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. Now here, pay attention to this. The land on which you lie, I will give to you and to your offspring. Definitely, I'm going to add this, not because you're good. I'll give this land to you and your offspring. Your offspring shall be like the dust of the earth, and you shall spread abroad to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. And in you and your offspring shall all the families, not just individuals, all the peoples or the families of the earth will be blessed. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go. Pay attention to that. God is saying, I am with you. That is to say, am means present tense, right now. I am with you. And wherever you go, I am with you. I'll be with you there. So God is promising, I am with you. Wherever you go, right? Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go. That is, I will protect you. I will guard you. I will shield you. I'll make sure nothing wrong happens to you wherever you go. And will bring you back to this land. That's pretty serious. Right? This is the promise of God to Jacob. For I will not leave you until I have done what I've promised to you. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Good observations. He experienced God. He came face to face with God, just a little bit, because the big one is still coming. But here's the deal. I want to say this, that God is with us in spite of ourselves. And I don't want you to go thinking about whatever you... No, God is with you despite who you are and what you've done. If God were ever to focus on the stuff that you've done, you would not even... None of us would even feature at all in anything. So I just want to remind us that. I know I say this all the time, but just be reminded that God is with you. The Lord is with you in spite of you, who you are, in spite of yourself, in spite of your failures. His calling upon you and his sustenance of you depends on his grace, not on your goodness, because none of us is good. So if you're thinking you're going to be good before, forget that. It's not going to happen. He called you so that he can clean you up. He can prepare you for his own use. That's why God called you into his kingdom. He didn't call you, he didn't call me because we were good. But he knew we were messed up, but he's going to change us. He's going to transform us. He's going to get us from the place of being self-focused and selfish and everything to a place where we are God-focused and motivated by his love. And I say this for a reason. You're going to see why. And the love that God has given to Abraham to Jacob is not based on him. It's based on what Abraham had done. Based on Abraham's obedience. Right? What did God say in that promise? He just gave Jacob his unconditional protection. It's unconditional. Jacob, I'll be with you. I'll protect you. I'll take care of you. But let me ask a question. And that's the same way he's done for us. His unconditional promise to us. His unconditional love for us. I love you. Just because you're in Christ, I love you. I'll take care of you. I'll protect you. I'll provide for you. It's unconditional. We are not the ones fulfilling the condition. Jesus Christ has already fulfilled the condition for us. The ladder that goes from heaven to earth, he's already done it for us. But why is it that when we come to committing to God, our commitment to God, why is it that we have to tie it to something? Why do we have to say, if God does this, then I'm going to commit to him. If he does that, then I'm going to believe in him. If he does this for me, then he's really going to be my God. Why is that? God didn't do that for us. He says, I love you the way you are. I've already accepted you because of Jesus Christ. But somehow, we want to tie some strings to our relationship. Yeah, if you heal me, then I know you are God. If you give me food, then I know you're really good. If you do that for me, then I know you're mighty. Right? Why do we do that? Why can't we just accept God regardless of what he does or doesn't do for us? Does he not deserve our praise and worship? Has he not shown us enough in the universe to show I'm mighty, I'm great, I love you? Do we have to tie our commitment to God, our love for God, to the next thing that we're hoping for him to do for us? As I said, Jacob has been used to this kind of quid pro quo, type of deal. He's a deal maker. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You give me your birthright, I'll give you stew. That's what he's done. And somehow he thinks that's the way it's going to work in his relationship with God. Here's what he says in verse 20. After God gave him this wonderful promise, here's what Jacob says. Then Jacob made a vow. Did he need to do that? He made a vow saying, if God will be with me, God already said, I'll be with you. If he will keep me in this way, he already said, I will keep you and until I fulfill all my promises to you. Not because of anything good you've done. It says, if God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go and will give me bread to eat and clothing to wear so that I come again to my Father's house in peace, everything that God says I'm going to do anyway, then the Lord shall be my God. Really? Wow. And this stone which I have set up for a pillar shall be God's house, and all that you give me, I will give a full tenth to you. Does that make any sense? God says, I'm going to be with you. I'll bless you. I'll give you anything. I'll protect you. I'll bring you back to your father's house. No, but he's not satisfied. He wants to make a deal. He wants to make a deal with God. If you will do that, if you will really do what you said you would do, if you're really going to be as good as your word, then you will be my God. Then I'll do something great for you too. You scratch my back, I'm going to scratch your back too. Wrong. That may have worked for you, Jacob, in the past, but it doesn't work in God's kingdom. Because God is not seeking, he's not seeking that kind of, he's seeking a transformational kind of relationship. What do I mean by that? When you realize that how much God loves you, when you realize how much he cares for you, when you realize how much he will do for you in spite of yourself, in spite of your shortcomings, you just ought to respond to him in kind. Say, you know what? He's just good. There's nothing I can do without him. There's nothing. I don't have to do anything. Right? And, quite frankly, God doesn't have to do anything for any of us anymore. He's already blessed us so much beyond whatever we had ever imagined. He doesn't need to do anything to prove that he's God to us. He's given us salvation. He's given us eternal life. And by the way, he's also added a lot of material blessings to us. He's given us children. He's given us families to be happy in, to be proud of. He doesn't have to do anything else for us to now make him our God. Oh yeah, just because you gave me food yesterday, just because you made me turn 57 years yesterday, now you're really going to be my God. No, that doesn't work. God is not interested in this transactional type of relationship, contractual relationship. You do for me, I do for you. He is after a transformational kind of relationship where we recognize him as great and honorable, great, deserving all honor and praise, and we just fall down and bow down before him and surrender to him everything that we are and have. We ought to recognize that God is almighty already. He's already almighty. And by the way, it's not just he's almighty and he deserves all worship. He deserves our obedience, whether he does something for us or not. He's still God. Right? Even if this world should pass away right now, everything over, God is still God. He doesn't have to do anything for us. Nothing. He's already done the greatest. He was here before he brought us into the picture. And he'll do for us everything he has promised that he will do in spite of our shortcomings. Right? But Jacob wanted a God he could manipulate. As usual, he wanted someone he could manipulate, and a God who is desperate for his allegiance. Yeah, I'm going to bless him so he can do something for me. I better bless him, or otherwise he's not going to build me a temple. I better bless him, otherwise I won't be his God. What gave us that? That kind of thinking, as if God is desperate. God just wants to bless us. He's not desperate for people. He's not desperate for the money we're going to give him. He's not desperate for people that are going to come to church. We come to church, we worship him because it's good for us to worship him. Not because we're doing something for him. Some places, anyway, I don't want to go into that right now. God is not desperate for allegiance. He's not desperately looking for someone that's going to build him a temple. He's not, because he's self-sufficient. He's got everything he needs. And he loves himself enough. Even if he doesn't have us, he can just have a party where he is all alone and enjoy himself. Because he loves himself. He loves the Son, and the Son loves the Father, and they love the Holy Spirit, and vice versa. Right? Here's what God says about himself. Look. He says, "For every beast of the field, of the forest is mine. The cattle on 1,000 hills. I know all the birds of the hills, and all that moves in the field is mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world and its fullness are mine. Do I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Offer to God a sacrifice of thanksgiving and perform your vows to the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me." He says, I got everything. There's nothing you're going to give me today that will make me more of a God. No, I got everything. I just want to bless you. I just want to bless you. So don't go thinking that, I just did God a favor today. We can't do him a favor. Rather, anything we do, it's just basically God, because God has blessed us, and he promises to bless us even more. Not because we're good, just because he's our daddy. He does want us to be obedient. You know, you think about this transactional relationship, it's highly flawed. It's messed up. Because it doesn't bring out the best in us at all. We only do so much. We only do, just enough to keep the relationship going. I do just enough. I don't want to do more. But God, as I said, wants more of a transformational relationship where you do more than is expected of you. You just do it because you love the other person. You love your wife so much that you do way more than she expects of you. You love your children so much, you do way more. You love your parents so much, you do much more than they expect of you. And by the way, you love your husband so much more than it's like, I'm not waiting for him to do so that I can do. No, you just, man, what am I going to do? I just, because in a transformational relationship, what you're trying to do, it's, how can I keep that person happy? How can I just help them? I just want to make them smile. How can I do that? Not so that I get anything out of it, but man, I just love it when she smiles. I love it when he smiles. I love it when he or she is happy. That's what I want to do. Not because I have to, but because it feels good. It just feels good to worship God. Feels good to go to God in prayer and just pour out your heart to him. And at the end of it, man, that was very good. I just want to go back to that. Because it feels good to just abandon myself in the presence of God. You know, in a transformational relationship, you do stuff because you care very deeply. Not because it's expected of you, not because it's required. Your heart is in it first. Right? It's your heart first before your mind. Yes, you love and you're motivated by the personal desire to please the other. Man, I wish that we would have that kind of attitude. I just want to please God. I just have this burning desire on the inside of me to please him, not because of what he's going to give me. Because you know what? He's shown me enough to know that he deserves everything. So let's approach God with this kind of attitude, whether we are blessed or not, whether we have or we don't have. Let's approach God with the attitude of gratitude. Just be, because eventually you're going to be so fulfilled, knowing that God is faithful and will fulfill his promises. Let's have an uncompromising commitment to God. A commitment that's not based on what he's going to do for us. It's not based on anything but the fact that we want to honor him for who he is rather than for what he's going to do for us. I know it's hard. I know we have a lot of needs, but trust me, when we worship God with abandon, when we just surrender ourselves to him, God knows what we need, and he'll take care of that. Here's what somebody said in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 17 to 19. The prophet was praying and just looking up to God and hoping that God would do something. And he remembered the activities, the plans of God, the works of God in the past. And he came down to this conclusion. He says, though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food. The flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. God, the Lord, is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. That's the right attitude. Even if it seems like nothing's working, God is still God. I will still rejoice in the Lord because he is God. Point number 2. You want to see yourself. This journey, as I said before, is going to help Jacob see himself in a mirror. you're going to see yourself in a mirror. Right? Like I said, he's been the master of deception and fraud. He took Jacob's, Esau's birthright, stole his blessings by deceiving his dad, his blind father. What a thing to do, to take advantage of a blind man. Sent to Haran in the guise of seeking a good wife over there, but we know he's actually looking for safety. But he's going to get his match. He's going to meet his match over there in his uncle Laban. Yeah, he's going to meet his match in his uncle. This it runs in the blood, right, in the family, right? Obviously, he got this shrewdness and his thing, he got it from his mom and his uncle. Okay. By the way, all of them came from this family too, so probably got it from Isaac too. But directly, he got this from Laban and Rebekah. And Laban is a deal maker. Just like Jacob. Isn't that good when you deal with someone just like you? Right? All of a sudden you don't like it anymore. That's why you should never marry a husband or a wife that's just like you. Because you're going to have this all the time. Right? So here he is. For Laban, success has no heart. You just succeed anyway. The end justifies the means, and he will stop at nothing. He's going to use Jacob so much. Use him to accomplish his goals. Selfish goal. That's what Laban is going to do. Uncle Laban is going to do that. He's not going to think about ethics, morals. He's not going to think about Jacob's feelings. It's like, what I want is what I want. I want success. You're going to be the one to do it for me. Because guess what? I'm providing you refuge anyway. Without me, they might kill you over there. So I'm going to take advantage of you. Laban seemed to be thinking. Point number one there. Jacob says, I want to marry Rachel. She's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Just the right girl. Laban says, yeah, that's a good idea. If you serve me for 7 years, you got her. But Laban is going to change. Because he says, you know what? It's not good to give the second daughter in marriage before the first. But he didn't tell Jacob that. They do their marriage and everything at night, so you don't really see what's going on. It all happens at night. And they wear a veil too. Not this one people wear here in the daylight. We can still see the face. But over there, the veil at night, you don't know who is who. Right? So Laban gave him Leah. Leah had weak eyes. Her eyes didn't look too good. And Jacob found out in the morning and says, man, I served you for 7 years for Rachel, but you gave me Leah. Oh yeah, I just realized. It's not okay to get the second one married before the first. So, but I didn't tell you that. And Jacob should have asked, why didn't you tell me that? I served you 7 years. Hey, you like cheating, right? You like deceiving people, right? You like taking what is not yours? Bam, here's number one for you. You're going to marry 2 of them. Marry the 2 girls. Okay, if you want Rachel, you're going to serve me 7 more years, but after 1 week of marrying Leah, you can have Rachel too. But then you're going to serve me 7 years. What? 14 years? To marry the girl that I didn't want to marry? Do you think that Jacob may have thought about what he did to Esau? I'm sure. He's a human being. And by the way, he didn't just get those 2 ladies. He got their servants too. Bilhah and Zilpah. He got them all. 4 ladies for him. Laban cheated him several times. 14 years for the 2 girls and 6 years for just working for him so he can get paid. Wow. Cheated him a lot. Changed his wages 10 times.